This episode of the YDN cast is brought to you in part by bonfire.com/ydnerd. Head on over to bonfire.com/ydnerd to find everything you could ever want in the way of your daily nerd merchandise. Whether it's a t-shirt, a baseball tee, or a hoodie, we got you covered. What better way to show off your nerdiness than with a piece of merchandise that has our wonderful logo on it? So head on over to bonfire.com/ydnerd and pick up your shirt today. Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 6 of the YDN cast. Of course, the YDN cast being the video game podcast for your daily nerd. I am Kyle Viveris, joined as always by Mr. Nick Swank.
Hello.
Mr. Austin Bean.
Oh dang, hello.
And joining for the trifecta, the third week in the row, Mr. Dylan Graves.
Oh shit, what up?
3 weeks in a row, my man.
I know. Yeah, it's like you're a part of this. Almost like I drive back here every week just to be on the podcast.
Yeah.
Definitely honored.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's the new canon. You have to drive back every single week to be on the podcast.
Well, now you're here now.
It wouldn't be the worst thing.
Not true.
Wouldn't be the best thing.
Not ideal, but fun.
Yeah.
This is fine.
I am indifferent about the whole thing. Yep, so no Jackie this week, no Tristan, no Logan. They will be back next week, ? Spring break is coming up here soon, so who knows what exactly the plan is. I feel like I should probably know what the plan is, because
what's the point in having a plan?
Future Kyle can deal with that.
Future Kyle can deal with that. Yeah, hey, Future Kyle, here's one of these. Of course, this is the YDN cast, your number one spot for all things video game related. Each and every week, we're going to come to you through YouTube and now a variety of podcasting platforms, be it iTunes, Google Play, or Stitcher. We're coming wherever you want us to. Nope, actually, bad phrasing. Phrasing on that one.
We're gonna retcon that entire.
That was a nat one on that one. I'm gonna
roll for persuasion.
Yes. So. Yeah, we're on audio-only versions of the podcast now, so you could be listening to this on your phone, on your daily commute to your job, or
your daily commute.
Where's another place they can come listen to us?
You could listen to,
There's a website, right?
Yes, yes, thank you, Austin, good man.
Here to help you, buddy.
So yes, you can listen to us on a variety of podcasting platforms. Go and download, and if you like what you're hearing, please give us a 5-star review or any kind of review, 4-star, 5-star.
I think that's the scale, is just 4 to 5.
Yeah, that's really. I don't make the rules. You either give a 4 or a 5-star. There's
no in between.
Yeah, if you hate us, you give us a 4-star, right? That helps us a lot with trying to come up more in podcast searches and recommendations to other people, so that we can continue to grow. Again, we appreciate all that you do for us by listening to in any way that you can on the podcast and the audio only version, or watching us on YouTube as per always. I don't know what that noise was.
You just took over half your health in one shot.
Yeah, God.
You keep rolling nat ones, dude.
God, I am just sucking today.
Phrasing.
God, fuck. Like Austin said, you can head on over to ydnerd.com and you'll be able to find every single little thing that we do. You can find out more about us, not Dylan because he's whatever, but you can find out more about the three of us. Over there, you can find all of our videos. You can find a link to our merch, which, speaking of, our sale of our merch is still going on right now. So please don't forget to go over and order your Daily Nerd shirt, baseball tee, or hoodie today. That money means a lot to us. It helps us be able to grow more. For example, we got that audio-only version. That was only able for us to accomplish through the sale, so that way we can pay for podcast hosting. We'll be finding different ways to spend that money here soon, so that way we can keep improving with new microphones, new cameras, We're still a growing operation here, so any type of way we can get any kind of funding, it helps dramatically. So please go on over to bonfire.com/YDnerd if you want to order a shirt. I know that money's tight with some people, so I completely understand if it's not possible. Do what you can, and we will follow suit.
Yes.
Let's see. Don't forget to follow us on all of our social media. You can find us on Instagram and Twitter at YDNerd, or you can find us and like us on our Facebook page, facebook.com/YDNerd. I got that universal branding, you know. You got YDNerd.com, at YDNerd, Facebook.com.
/YDNerd.
Yes, YDNerd.
Wait, what's the handle again?
Oh, YDNerd.
Okay, I need to write that
YD
down.
Nerd. Also, if you're watching the video version of this, Future Kyle has displayed a nice little URL right there.
Yes. Can it be in Comic Sans?
Huh?
Exclusively in Comic Sans.
We'll see what we can do.
Comic Sans, maybe.
No comic papyrus.
I'm hoping my hope for
is
it.
acceptable.
What I would do right here, what Future Kyle's gonna do right here, is it's gonna be in normal font, and then when you ask for it to switch to Comic Sans, and it's gonna switch over to Comic Sans.
It has to.
Yeah.
And then I think we should have like graphic design is my passion.
Yes.
Boom! Graphic design is my passion.
Graphic design is my passion.
And then I don't know, some gay frogs over above Swank.
Yep. There
Wow.
How do you
okay.
rotate
There it
a
is.
picture
Wow.
in MS Paint?
Wow! How do you rotate text?
you go.
All right.
Please help.
As far as other stuff for the channel and the website goes, we're going to be having a big announcement here coming in the next couple of weeks, and it's going to be really awesome, and I'm really super stoked for it. So be on the lookout for that. We're not really talking about a whole lot. Just know that Swank is involved with it, and it's gonna be a good
Yes,
time.
I'm looking forward to it a lot.
It's gonna be so fun. Oh my gosh. Again, and then last but not least, please, if you like this video, if you like what we do here, please like, comment, subscribe, share, and every other YouTube buzzword there is, so that way we can continue to grow and make better content for you. It's a whole big cycle. We make stuff, you like our stuff, you tell all your friends to like our stuff, we make better content, and it's just a giant cycle.
Unless you and your friends don't like our stuff, in which case I suggest that you like our stuff.
Yes. I mean, that's the thing, is I'm not unrealistic. I know that what we do is not for everybody. And that's perfectly fine. But for those of you who do like what we do, and you have friends that you think would like what we do, just send them a link. Send them a link to this video. Send it to, what's our most recent editorial video that I've done? The E3 predictions video. Send them that one. Maybe that one I did a while ago about Star Wars and the microtransactions and where we go from there. Send them a link to one of those videos and just tell them, hey, I really like what these guys are doing, and just help us out through that. That really means the world to us. It gives us a whole lot of validation for what we are doing here at Your Daily Nerd. So that's all I have as far as housekeeping goes. So let's go on into weeks. Swank, what have you been playing?
Alright, so I picked up an old playthrough of Skyrim after seeing my roommate do the same, going with my classic shield and casting, which is my favorite way to play any sort of Elder Scrolls game.
That's an interesting way to play. I don't think I've ever played that way.
A type
fun.
of battle mage?
Basically,
yeah.
yeah.
What race are you playing?
High Elf,
Oh, nice, dude.
because faster region.
Hi.
Ooh.
My dude.
And then I also recently started playing Darkest Dungeon, which has been a lot of fun so far.
Side note, going back to High Elf for a second. If you're playing a High Elf and you're not yelling, "It's lit," every time you light somebody on fire, you're not playing it right.
I'm gonna switch to Fire Magic and start doing that.
All right. Okay. Cool. So Darkest Dungeon.
It's really fun. I haven't gotten very far in it. I only did 2 or 3 of the little missions whenever I started playing, but I really like the mechanics. The whole stress factor is just as stressful on you as it is on your compatriots.
It really is.
It's really... I'm trying not to use the word stressful, but it's the best I've got.
It's one of those games where it makes you it makes you constantly question yourself on, what am I not doing right now?
Exactly.
There's something that I'm forgetting to do, and usually ends up being like, oh, I just started this dungeon and I forgot to rest my guys, so they're at like already like 75% stress,
Yep.
and this is not going to be a fun time.
No, I definitely understand why it gives you so many possible units to use, because people just get stressed out and there's nothing you can do about it.
I love that game so much.
It's really fun so far. I'm looking forward to it a lot.
Anything else?
Other than my awful habit of Fire Emblem Heroes, no, not really.
Dylan, what have you been playing?
So, still filling out that Pokedex. And have y'all heard of Emily Wants to Play?
No.
Okay, so Emily Wants to Play. It's like so there's Emily Wants to Play, and then Emily Wants to Play 2, which just recently came out, like not too long ago. Emily Wants to Play is like you're a pizza delivery man, and you show up to this house. You're like, hello, got your pizzas here. I'm just gonna walk in your house now, and you proceed to be chased down by these different like animated dolls.
I hate that a
Oh,
lot.
It's so there's in the original one there are 3. There's I don't remember their names, but it's this creepy, just little like black and white looking doll, this like puppet he's like dressed in this brown suit, and then just like a clown. And
I hate all of this so far.
right, and so when you encounter each of these different characters, you have to do something different, and you basically you just learn through trial and error. There's also this like when you walk into the kitchen, there's this whiteboard, and it'll tell you to like do something like, oh, whenever you see Chester, I think is the puppet's name. It's like, when you see Chester, don't move. But it's like, no, when you see Chester, definitely run away.
Mm-hmm.
Because, so like, the way to get rid of him is you have to leave the room that he's in, because he just starts running at you. And then with the girl doll, you have to keep staring at her until you're like out of her line of sight. And then with the clown, you're not supposed to move. And it's like they each have an oral cue, like they each like laugh a little differently, so you have to like, you hear that and you're like, shit, like what do I do? And it's like it's fine, and it's kind of like the it's similar to Five Nights at Freddy's in that you go you go till 6 a.m. But that's about it, and each hour is a different like level of difficulty.
So it's basically Five Nights at Freddy's.
Basically,
Is what you're telling me.
Yeah, but it gets to a point where you're having to deal with multiple dolls at the same time, like in one room. So it'll be like the girl doll will show up, but then you hear like Chester, and he starts running at you. So you have to like maintain a
Keep
line
eye
of sight with
contact with
her
her while you
while
leave
running
the room.
backwards away from
Yeah,
Chester.
okay.
Like, it's so stupid. So then Emily Wants to Play 2 adds like, I want to say it adds like 4 more enemies that you have to deal with.
Jesus
God.
Christ.
And it's like, and
That
they're,
sounds so stressful.
it is. And
What about how Five Nights at Freddy's 2 went from 3 animatronics to like 9? Or...
yeah, I like watching Matt Pat's game theories about the Five Nights at Freddy's lore, because he goes like really into it, like deeper than I would ever want to go into it. I'm just kind of like, some kids died, and there's these animatronics are mad at someone. Like, but he gets like way into it.
I'm not going to get into my feelings on Matt Pat right now. We'll be here for too long.
Yeah.
That game sounds terrifying.
It is.
The dolls,
I recommend
no.
it, especially because they have some of the newer enemies that they have are just this doll. So like the game starts out and you're in your apartment and you're like, oh, that party was crazy last night, and you just kind of cycle through this, like, you have to do these certain things, and it gets really monotonous because it's like, if you don't do it's I honestly think it's just a game of chance, because sometimes you like, oh, the lights went out, and you like flip the breaker back on, and there's an enemy just like standing there, and he'll just come and like get you, and then you have to start over, and then it's like, once you beat that, you're like, oh, you wake up and you're like, oh, I keep having that nightmare, and then you're like a sandwich delivery guy this time. You go to a police station, and the whole game takes place in the police station, where like all of the dolls are like gathered evidence from like there's like a house burning down, like it ties into the previous game where it's like, this was where like some people were murdered, and
Oh.
yada yada yada. So it's like, and then the first thing that happens is you just hear this doll go, "Mama," and you're like, okay, what the fuck is that? And you just see this doll that looks all charred and stuff. It's just like walking around, but it's blind. It doesn't have any eyes. So basically, like, you just have to stand still until it'll like stand there and like kind of look around and it'll keep
these
saying
dolls
"Mama,"
look
and then it
creepy
just
as hell.
leaves. Oh yeah. And then there's
Nope.
Let me see.
Nope. That's nightmare fuel. Nope.
Oh no.
it's terrible. And
Nope.
then there's one
No.
that's like
No.
basically he looks like Beetlejuice with a buzz cut, and he kind of like skips
Ooh, look at
around.
that clown.
Oh god.
Oh no,
Yeah, man.
those characters are
Yeah.
terrifying.
Yeah.
No.
Like
I'm
I was
about it.
expecting like cute little dolls in a way that
No.
have been morphed
And they're
into
and the
something
worst
else.
and the worst part, they're all like 3 feet tall. It's
Nope.
not like this. They're like tiny people that
No.
are chasing you around.
So
No.
when are we playing this game, basically?
Fuck you.
So
No.
let's do a let's play.
Oh god.
So yeah, if you're into horror games, like that's a really good one. It's got like jump scares are cheap, and I know that it has some good jump scares in it whenever you get the death animation, but it's fun. It's a fun game.
Doesn't sound like it. Sounds terrifying. I'm a big scaredy cat.
I know.
Oh.
You should definitely play it then.
Yeah, probably.
I'll give you the best content.
Oh god. Yeah, probably. But so is that about it, you think, Dylan?
Yeah.
Austin, what have you been playing?
I started Castle Crashers again.
I love Castle Crashers
Dude, it's such a good
so
game.
much.
I've been playing it single player, and it's really not as fun. Like just by yourself. It's,
No, you gotta play with other
You gotta
people.
play with other people. I've also I restarted Oxenfree.
Oxenfree's great.
Yeah, when you restart after you've beaten it, there's like additional content to
Oh,
it.
okay.
I guess it's like later in story because I haven't run into anything yet, but I loved that game.
It's so good.
I've been playing. I'm still consistently playing PUBG.
Yeah. You're playing on an Xbox, right?
Yeah.
How is that going? Is like have they improved the quality?
Yes, for the most part. With every little update, it does get a little bit better.
Okay.
It's just a little frustrating seeing like the mobile version come out and then like that actually runs pretty well for the system that it's on. Like I don't run into as many bugs on that, but mobile gaming is kind of a different thing in and of itself.
Right.
They've added like more content to it. Like there was more weapons that I've picked up that I'd never seen before. Like they added like a Glock to the game.
Does it still have only the first map on there? They haven't added the desert map.
They haven't
yet?
added the desert map. It's still in pre-release. Like
Yeah, they're in the preview program.
yeah, so like I guess the way they can kind of get away with it because it's definitely not the full game because it says game preview when you buy the game.
Right.
Yeah, and it's in like version 0.6.3.
Mm-hmm.
And when I got it, it was like 5.0.1.
Well, it sounds like they're updating fairly consistently with it. And
They are, and it's gotten continuously better with each update. Like it's definitely noticeable. Like when I first got it, the game was buggy as hell.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's less buggy as hell, but
Now it's just like buggy, not quite as hell.
Right.
the game is the game is playable though. Like
Mhm.
it doesn't run as smooth as it would on PC. And if you have a PC and an Xbox, just get it on PC.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna have a better experience. But my computer can't run it.
Makes sense. Have you gotten any chicken dinners yet?
Yeah, I have. I've gotten it
Solo or squad?
both.
Cool.
Yeah. My first solos, I freaked the fuck out. Like I had ended up getting a ghillie suit and I had an LMG with me.
Hell yeah.
Had it all geared up. I had an extended clip with it. I had a red dot sight, and I had like I had a flash hider with it. And I was like hiding behind this rock. The circle was condensing down between me and this one other guy. There was like rocks and trees all around us. I was just in a ghillie suit, so I'm just chilling, like waiting for something to happen. I hear like a grenade go off. It wasn't near me. I was like, okay, fuck, this guy is somewhere. And like I end up like poking my head up, and I see this dude just kind of like walking around. Like doesn't really see anyone. I have an LMG, so I end up just laying into him, and I won chicken dinner.
Hell yeah.
Good.
It's so stressful. It's when you get that far into the game, your heart just starts racing.
You're
Yeah.
pounding the entire time.
Yeah, you look at your counter and you see a single-digit amount of people up, and you're like, wait, like, uh-oh.
I didn't think I'd make it this far.
Literally, my first game of mobile, I was about to go to bed, and I was like, yeah, I won't be in this for very long. And then I came in second, and like the entire last 20 minutes, I was just going, fuck.
Yeah.
Pretty much, man. Pretty much. Anything else, Austin?
No, that's really about it for this week.
For me, it has been basically a lot of PUBG Mobile and Fortnite Mobile, and then Fortnite on console also. So Fortnite, or not Fortnite, PUBG Mobile came out this past week in the U.S., which I didn't put this as one of the news stories because it's, PUBG Mobile has been out for a long time now, but just in China. Being
really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
That's why it runs so smooth. I think is because it had been it's been out in China for a while now, like through Tencent. So it finally came out in the States, like stateside the other day, and I was so confused about it just because I was like, I saw like an announcement like on Instagram. I think GameSpot made a post about it on Instagram and was like, PUBG Mobile is now available for all players, and I was like, what the fuck? I hadn't like seen anything about this or heard like if it was like a release date of when it was coming to the States. And I searched and I searched it on the App Store and I was like, PUBG. I searched PUBG first. I couldn't find it and I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
It's not April Fool's Day. I know that.
Well, sometimes when games first get announced or like put onto the App Store, it doesn't show up in the recent search history.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So,
you have to search like the exact title of the game.
And even then, you may have to like scroll down a few.
Yeah.
right. So then I searched PUBG Mobile and then it came up specifically like the actual one, but it had like no star ratings already.
Yeah.
It must have just came out like a few minutes or maybe an hour ago or so. So I downloaded it and I was like, all right, cool, I'm playing this. And so I started playing, and my fourth game got a chicken dinner.
Nice.
I haven't played PUBG on console or PC, but playing squad. The first game I played, I got 5 kills.
Nice.
One of which was a buggy kill. That was really nice because I ran over the dude and knocked him down, and then I back over him to kill him.
Yeah.
I could tell my squad mate that was in the buggy with me loved that.
Good.
Yeah, I think I got 5 kills in that first game, and I'm actually really enjoying PUBG Mobile. I think it runs a lot better than I thought it was going to. Because usually mobile games don't run. I don't feel like mobile ports of games usually work as well as you think they're going to. Like you hear that, oh, Injustice is coming to mobile. That's awesome,
great.
and then you get it, and it's like, oh, how fast can I swipe so that way I can like beat the shit out of the person.
It was the same thing like whenever like there was that Dead Space mobile game.
Yeah.
Like it was
alright.
fine. I mean, it played like a mobile shooter, I guess. But
Right, exactly. So it ran a lot better than I thought it was going to.
The controls are a little clunky though.
A little bit. You kind of get used to it after a little bit. But then, like, not even 24 hours later, I got an email from Epic saying, hey, you've been chosen to get in on the Fortnite mobile beta. And I was like, all right, cool. I guess this is my week this week, is that I'm just playing Battle Royale games. And so I downloaded that, and I started playing that. And, man, that game is exactly what they are trying to get it to be. It's literally Fortnite on your phone. Like, it's a very seamless experience because when I signed up for the beta invite, I signed up with my Xbox account because that's where I play Fortnite most of the time. It's a seamless transition. It carries all of my stats over from.
Oh, that's cool. So you can level up your character on your phone.
Well, because like when the game officially fully launches on mobile, it'll be crossplay between all devices as well.
Okay.
So you'll be able to play. So obviously, it's going to be weird when that finally happens. I think you'll be able to. There'll probably be a way that you'll be able to queue so that you're only playing against people who are on the same device as you.
Yeah.
I think the only so when mobile version comes out in full release, it's supposed to be crossplay between all platforms, and all platforms are going to be able to play against each other, except for Xbox and PS4. Those are going to be the only ones that are not going to play with each other.
Yeah.
Even though Xbox is all about it, PlayStation is not.
Yep.
which Xbox has no reason to not be about it because their platform is not doing nearly as well as PlayStation right now, so they have no reason to like not be like
Exactly.
I don't want to play.
I'm
so
gonna stick by my guns on this one.
exactly. So I have to say overall, and I'll be putting up a video on the. I'm doing a comparison video between the two, and I'll get real in depth with it there. But I have to say honestly, I think I prefer PUBG Mobile over Fortnite Mobile.
What?
Really?
And it comes down to little tiny things. This probably comes from the fact that PUBG Mobile has been a thing for longer now. Like, it's been a full-fledged game in China, in another country, for a while, and now it's just available to play in the US, whereas Fortnite is still in its beta form on the mobile version. I don't think it looks nearly as good on bigger devices like my iPad. My iPad's a little bit of an older generation of a model, but it does not look very good on iPad. Little rough still. Also, the button layout. Button layout is a huge thing for me when it comes to mobile games because
because it can either be really good or really bad.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like that was my big concern about this whole thing is because like I don't like virtual joysticks, like for movement. Like I don't like them because like I like to be able to have like the actual dexterity.
It's so much easier to just have a controller in your hand.
Exactly. The joysticks on both of them are fine. Actually, what I really like about PUBG Mobile is that you can like swipe all the way up with that virtual joystick to lock into place the sprinting, so that way you don't have to keep your thumb there.
Oh, dude, I was playing like while waiting for one of my classes to start, and like I ended up talking to someone, and I was running towards the circle, so I just locked it on sprint, and I was like talking to the person, and occasionally like changing direction, looking around.
Exactly.
For whatnot, but
so I really like that about PUBG Mobile. What I really also like about PUBG Mobile is that it has a designated button for firing, like for shooting. With Fortnite Mobile, it's you tap the screen. Where that kind of got me into some bad situations where it lost me the game because like I'm holding my iPhone like horizontally like this, and I just like lightly like graze the screen with my other thumb, and I just boom, just shoot out of nowhere, causing people to know where I was and just immediately come find me, right? Also, PUBG also has a designated reload button, and from what I could tell with Fortnite Mobile, there's no reload button. It's you tap the picture of the weapon that you're using to reload it, or there's also you could tap the icon for the ammo above the inventory thing, and that button is I got fat thumbs, people, so it's like I'm trying to hit that reload button, and apparently I'm not hitting it in the precise location, so rather than reloading, I'm shooting more because I'm just tapping the screen. So that was really annoying, and those are the little things I think that bugged me the most. There was one experience that I had with PUBG Mobile, and it was my first game actually. The second game, so it was my second game that ended up causing me to die. That I really didn't like, and I recommend this to anybody who's playing PUBG Mobile. Is go into your settings before you start playing and turn off auto pickup.
Oh, that is so annoying because
it's helpful until you get equipment, and then it's no longer helpful.
Well, see, like the problem with that I ran into is that when it comes to weapons with it doesn't take into consideration ammo amount. So I'm in the middle of a firefight. I've got a handgun that's got quite a bit of ammo in it, and I've got an empty shotgun on my back. I'm running over, and there's an assault rifle on the ground. So, of the two weapons that I have, technically the pistol is the weaker weapon. So or the lower level weapon, or however you want to describe it. So my guy drops my handgun and picks up this assault rifle that has no ammo in it. And I have no assault rifle ammo. There's no assault rifle ammo on the ground either. And every time I try to manually go over and pick that handgun back up, it auto swaps it back out. Like, it keeps on. So I would
That's annoying.
So I would have my handgun out trying to shoot at somebody, and then all of a sudden I would just drop it and pick up an empty assault rifle, and then I'd be like, "Fuck!" Grab it, nope, and then just pick it back up. Like, I just keep on just doing it over and over again, and then I died. There was nothing I could do.
I immediately go into settings, change that, and the game's
Yeah.
so much more playable.
So if you don't want to have a situation like that, I seriously recommend going in and changing that setting. So yeah, I mean that's really all I've been playing lately. I played a little bit more Fortnite on console, but most of my play this week has been on mobile. Still playing more Overwatch. Brigitte came out on the actual live servers now. She's not.
I thought it was Bridget.
No, it's Brigitte Lindholm. She's
Okay.
It's Bridget if you're not a pompous asshole.
she's the daughter of Torbjorn. She's not from here. She's Swedish.
I don't play too much Overwatch.
She says her name in the trailer is Brigitte.
Okay.
I put a
The
little
more
too
you
much.
know.
I rolled the R a little
How
too
many,
much.
how
On
many
it.
R's is that?
A little too many.
Exactly 5.
Bridget.
Yeah.
So I finally got to. I played when she was on the PTR. I just played I just went to the the shooting range to kind of just give her a shot. Cause I'm like, I'm not gonna play it or go into the quick play because all I want to do is I just want to try out this new character. And if I go onto the quick play, somebody's gonna auto lock into her before I even have the chance to load into the game and see what we need. So surprisingly, every game I managed to play this week, I was able to just automatically just lock into her real quick. Stupidly OP.
Yeah,
Stupidly OP.
I'm waiting for it. I'm just waiting for the hell nerf to happen.
Because I wasn't thinking about it, but as I kind of started playing as her a little bit more, so her heal is not just a heal; it's also armor. You're tossing out armor.
Oh my god.
So at the beginning of the game, if you're defending or attacking and you have a Brigitte on your team, you can literally just throw armor packs to your teammates. And it's just right at the gate, and it's just there you go. And there you go. And it's not like Torbjorn's armor packs where you have to have scrap to build the armor packs. It's just on a cooldown. So you just throw an armor pack, 5 seconds later, armor pack.
Oh my god, yes.
Fucking Oprah Winfrey healing.
Yeah. You get an armor pack and you get an armor pack. Everyone gets an armor pack.
And from what I understand, she's the squire of Reinhardt.
Yeah, she's Reinhardt's squire. She's got the shield that's like Reinhardt's, except it really only protects her. With it, and if somebody was directly behind her, that would also protect them a little bit. That shield bash is a little bit longer range than I thought it was going to, because there were many moments where I was just all right, shield, and then jump forward and knock him out, and I was all right, cool. Her flail basically works on the same kind of way that Reinhardt's rocket hammer works, where it's just you hold down the button and you keep swinging. But the flail is a lot faster. And has a little bit of a longer range, I think, than the hammer does. So it's just dunk, 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 dunk.
Basically, no. That's...
And then her other ability where she throws her flail out to knock somebody and stuns them. Stupidly long range. So I got up close and as a support character, took out a McCree and a Hanzo.
Wait, is she listed under support?
Yes.
Oh my god.
She's listed as a support character. Went in there and took out a McCree and a Hanzo all by myself.
Oh my god.
With
Props
that
to
kid.
you.
She's totally a defense hero.
Yeah. A defense hero would probably be closer to what she is, but I still don't haven't quite figured out how her ult works. I mean, it's everybody in all of your teammates get armor, and all of your teammates get movement speed buff. That's her ult, and it's you don't plant it somewhere; it just comes out of the back of your backpack or whatever. So it's a Lucio proximity kind of thing. As long as people are around you, they get bonus armor and they get movement speed buff. So I had a lot of fun playing as her. Good addition.
Yeah.
She's gonna get nerfed as fuck in the next patch. I'm sure of it.
Just enjoy your broken ass.
I heard Bridget's pretty fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to think. Anything else? I've really just been watching a lot of Overwatch League, working on stuff with the site. Watching a lot of Critical Role. I started watching Critical Role this past week. If you don't know what Critical Role is basically it's a D&D podcast where a bunch of voice actors play D&D. It's headed up by Matt Mercer, who is the most notably his work is McCree from Overwatch. You have a few other people in there. Like my favorite guy on there, his name is Liam O'Brien, and his most notable role is Illidan from World of Warcraft.
Okay.
They got a bunch of other guys in there, a bunch of other people in there too. It is so well done. D&D. I have played D&D before, but it was in a group of new guys. It was like me and Dylan and a few other guys, we were still so new to it that we didn't really take the whole actual role playing into aspect of it. We were just like, okay, I want to do this. Can I do this? It's D&D. Yeah, you can do that. So we were still very, very new to all of it. But there's something really cool about seeing a D&D session where literally everybody is role playing and doing the thing the entirety of the time.
I played in a D&D game a few days ago where I was playing along with someone else. We ended up both playing Bear Totem Barbarians, which are basically the manliest of the manly people.
Yeah.
And so we just took turns just beating our chests pretty much the entire game, and it was wonderful.
God. I think after watching a bunch of Critical Role, I think I would like to learn how to DM.
Oh,
and
same.
I would like to learn how to DM and do kind of like what happened with me and get a group of new people in it and DM for a group of noobs. I think that would be real neat to do. But yeah, that's all I've been doing this week. So let's go ahead and head on over into the news. Got quite a few stories to talk about this week. This first one is an interesting one. You all know that we're big Star Wars fans over here at Your Daily Nerd.
Star Wars podcast, go.
Star Wars okay.
Your daily
Star Wars
Naboo.
news fan theories.
Your daily the Coruscant Daily. I don't know.
Pictures of Spider-Man.
Pictures of Spider-Man. So EA is now hiring for a Star Wars open world project. This an article comes from IGN, where there has been a listing for someone who will lead a team to deliver online features for a Star Wars open world project over at EA Vancouver. Doesn't really kind of give a whole lot of specifics as to what it might be. It doesn't even really kind of say if Amy Hennig, who was originally heading up the project over at Visceral Studios, if she is heading it up. So it's just kind of it's a listing for an open position for a open world Star Wars game.
Yeah, so EA is just trying to do something different. They know that the approach that they've been taking alongside Battlefront 2, which apparently a huge update came out, by the way. That changed a lot. But that's another topic.
It's cool. We talked about it last week, and honestly, I haven't tried it out yet, but my roommate has tried it out, and seems like I watched him play it a little bit the other day, and it seems a lot better, honestly.
I'm considering picking it up. Maybe if it goes on sale.
Right.
But it seems like everything's up in the air. Visceral Studios has been dissolved for the most part, which I hate to see. I hate to see studios like that just kind of go down. But EA is taking a new approach with this. It's been described as an open world project. Mm-hmm. An open world for Star Wars, that's kind of that can be a very broad statement, because they can either do one planet, but why make a Star Wars game limiting yourself to one planet?
Exactly.
So I'm thinking, my theory is they're going to do something similar to Star Wars Galaxies.
Yeah.
I think, because that kind of stuff has been done before, and in Knights of the Old Republic, and
for those who don't know, what was Star Wars Galaxies?
It was a Star Wars MMO.
It was kind of predated the Old Republic.
Yeah, you could play as different races, all of the notable races. You could play as a Mandalorian or a Wookiee, human, any of the basic Star Wars races, and you were a character in Star Wars.
They kind of made it a little bit of a struggle to play as a force wielding character, though,
yeah,
right?
It wasn't Jedi focused.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot more ordinary people focused.
Those games were based around Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy, and KOTOR, and just in games of that realm. They already had all of that. And Galaxies really expanded upon the actual galaxies themselves and the people that inhabited them.
Right.
Which I think would be a cool project to see, especially with all the new planets that are coming out.
Definitely.
New planets coming out every day.
Well,
What if,
the Star Wars universe is just expanding in a whole different direction now.
what if, and this is in all seriousness, they made No Man's Sky, but well as a Star Wars game?
Oh,
What
dude,
if-
I would
be
eat
in.
that up.
I'd be in.
What if that's what they're going for?
Hopefully,
It sounds like a coding nightmare.
It
Oh,
does.
absolutely.
It does.
No.
But yeah, I mean, like an open world project for Star Wars makes sense. Yeah, I hope that EA does it well. I just don't know what it's going to be. I think it's obviously it's with speculation based off of a listing for a job. It's hard to even tell what it could possibly be, other than
We can just hope for what we want in the Star Wars
Exactly.
series. Like,
Right.
I just want a Star Wars game don't want to put down.
right.
Because that's what my
I
gaming
haven't-
experience with them was as a kid. Like Battlefront 2, the original.
I haven't had a
not
Star
two.
Wars
Right.
game that made me feel like that since The Force Unleashed 1.
Dude, that's
That's phenomenal game right there.
2, not so much. 1.
I like 2. 2
I
definitely
loved-
doesn't hold up.
2, in my opinion, fell into the issue of sequels just reusing things a lot. Like, I ran through the same corridor in the first mission probably about 10 times in different places.
Yeah.
yeah.
But Star Wars Force Unleashed 1 will always be a masterpiece of a game.
When you're on the Death Star and they're testing like the
Mhm.
firing of the laser, my favorite thing to do was to like force grab a stormtrooper and just hold him up in the beam and just watch him just fucking disintegrate.
Fuck that guy in particular.
Like he'd shoot me and I'd be like, okay.
I guess you didn't want to live today. But yeah, I mean, so that's still a developing story, and we'll kind of bring you more news as we hear more about it.
Absolutely.
For our next story is a little bit of an interesting one that came out of the Game Developers Conference, or GDC. That happened this past week, where basically a bunch of different game devs came into San Francisco for a giant conference, kind of similar to something of like E3 or PAX or something
but not
like that.
necessarily for like games. It's like showing their development.
Exactly, yeah. So this was something that I saw the other day that I was like, this is really fucking cool. Like, it basically, what it was Epic and Unreal's showing of this new, really developed motion capture technology that they had been developing in corroboration with a company known as 3 Lateral. And it's this video. I highly encourage you to go watch it, of Andy
Probably have
Serkis.
a link somewhere
Oh,
around here.
I'll
Comic
try.
Sans, Papyrus.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah. Or it'll be in the description of the video if I'm feeling.
Porque no los
Lazy.
dos.
All of the above.
It's this really cool video of Andy Serkis, famous actor who has played many. He is the king of motion capture, in my opinion. He played
Agreed.
Gollum in the Lord of the Rings movies, Caesar in the Planet of the Apes movies.
He was also Snoke, right?
Yeah, he's also Supreme Leader Snoke.
I
And
feel like whatever he... I didn't mean to interrupt you.
no, you're good.
I feel like whatever he is in, he's always one of the most memorable characters.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
especially, like, even, like, all the way back with Heavenly Sword.
Mhm.
Like, whenever I think of that game, I immediately think of Andy Serkis' character in that game.
In a weird way, it's kind of funny to see him in any role that's not him motion capturing something.
Right.
Yeah.
Like he's in Black Panther as Claw,
Mhm.
and he's a good character in that movie. But it's also really weird to be like,
To see his actual face.
yeah, like
Yeah.
like not that he's like a bad looking dude or whatever, but it's just like
he's
it's,
such a good actor. Like he can, he has like a variety of tools to like just get into any role possible. Like he can use so many different facial expressions, and even like when he played Claw, like at first glance I really didn't recognize him because he acted different than how he normally would for those roles, and particularly to the video, like there's just so much expression that he picks up, and it really shows off the technology.
Right, so like with this video, basically what it ended up being was Epic and Unreal and 3 Lateral showing off how much they have improved with their technology on Unreal and motion capturing technique, that they were showing, they motion captured Andy Serkis's face as he performed a monologue from Shakespeare's Macbeth. And first of all, the rendering that they had on there is so lifelike that at first when you see it, it doesn't look like a rendering.
Yeah.
The longer you look at it, you start to realize that's not how a human face works. But,
Exactly.
I'm still impressed.
But like, yeah, I'm looking at the picture right now, and it's just it's crazy
It just
how
looks like a picture of Andy Serkis.
exactly.
Yeah, especially like from this angle.
But then, really, what's even cooler about the technology that they've developed with it is like, obviously, yeah, it's cool that they're able to get such a lifelike performance out of this. But the cool thing about this also is the implications for being able to translate the facial animations and the small little motions of the face from his regular face into a 3D animated model of a character for like a video game or something. So they did a side-by-side comparison of the motion capture that they got of Andy Serkis's face, and then translated those facial animations into this alien. I think he's from some game that I've never played, but like looking at it, it's like just the little movements, the snarl of the lip as he gives certain lines, the furrowing and unfurrowing of the brow, like the slight movements, like the slight closing and opening of eyelids, like it's immaculate.
The attention to detail is absolutely absurd.
Like watching it, like first of all, his performance of the monologue is gives you chills
In and of itself, yeah.
But then to watch the actual, I realized that first of all that this performance of Andy Serkis is all motion captured, and that this and then it translates so seamlessly over to this alien creature that we're looking at. It's just so cool.
Makes me excited for the future cutscenes of gaming and like bringing in actors into the gaming realm.
Absolutely, it's just such a cool thing, and that's not a huge story, but it was just like one of those things that I saw it and I was like, I need to tell somebody about this.
It's a good development. I would say that. Imagine, okay, so Disney has been. They had the thing with Princess Leia at the end of Rogue One. It's like they're definitely taking advantage of this kind of technology.
Or all
like
with
this
Grand
is
Moff Tarkin.
yeah,
True.
that too. It's like this proves that the technology is out there, and imagine like all the things we can use with it past gaming.
Yeah,
like I think that's incredible.
So neat. So go check out that video. It's short. It's like what, like a minute and a half.
Maybe.
It's like yeah,
Something like that.
2 minutes maybe.
It's worth your time to just check it out because it's again breathtaking performance by Andy Serkis, and then just the actual implications of what this technology does it's exceptional.
It's a masterpiece.
It's a masterpiece, baby.
So for our next news story, very interesting one. HTC has announced what the price point is going to be for the HTC Vive Pro. That's going to be looking at $800. Of course, the HTC Vive is HTC's. How many times can I say HTC in one news story or a couple sentences? Probably at least 3. The HTC Vive is HTC's.
Let's get a counter going.
Virtual reality headset that uses full. It's not as tied to a computer, but obviously it's still you want to plug it into a computer. It's got full. It's full room VR. That's the difference between it and Oculus. Really, is full room VR where you set different points in the room where it has sensors that can feel you where you at. It is the I would call it the premium virtual reality model.
What company was that again?
HTC.
Okay.
So the Vive has been out for probably a little over a year now, maybe a little bit more, and it was at a high price point. I think it was $800 was the price point for the regular Vive. So the Pro model is going to basically be a higher resolution for the screen. It's going to be just basically overall better technology. Also, HTC, when they announced the HTC Vive Pro, they announced a wireless pack that's going to allow for you to have complete wireless capabilities instead of having to still have the USB hooked up to your computer. You'll be able to buy an adapter that will let you go completely wireless into your room as well. So that's pretty neat. So the Pro's price is going to be $800, and they also announced that the first version of it is going to go down to $500, which is not a bad price point for that kind of technology. I think what is it? PSVR is now at $200,
Wow.
Yeah.
Oculus is now at 400, I think.
I'm not sure.
Oculus, I know, has gone down in price as well, but I think Oculus has gone down in price. They've all gone down in price from last year, but it's interesting because like they weren't making a profit on those numbers that they were putting out. Like they were simply just trying to get the technology in the hands of people, so that way they can get like a good proof of concept of like, hey, this technology works.
Right.
So I think it's cool that this price point, like $500, is a much more doable price point than $800 for getting into virtual reality, especially with the premium model of the with the Vive.
Definitely.
Still,
So that counts like half of an HTC.
What
You said like HT, and then
yeah,
you just
yeah,
cut off. And
yeah,
said,
like a half a counter on that one. I realized I was about to say it again. That's what made me stop. So I really want to get a virtual reality headset, but like they're so expensive. I think they would just be so cool for parties and
and for super hot.
yeah,
Yeah.
super hot VR.
You can dual wield in super hot VR.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah. Yeah, we watched a video the other day. It was from Kind of Funny Games. They've been doing their PSVR show where they were playing a new PlayStation VR show, PSVR game each week. And the first game they played was Super Hot VR. And there's a fucking moment where he grabs the gun, shoots the guy, and he drops his gun, and he reaches up and grabs the other gun in his hand. And he reaches over and he goes, "Brah!" Right? He just kind of like turns around and hits somebody at like right to the right of him with like two people, like crosses his arms like fucking John Wick style. Like,
oh my god.
Super hot VR is definitely just a John Wick simulator.
Oh yeah, definitely. Next up's in some more, I guess technically GDC news. Nintendo had a Nindies showcase last week. Nindies is basically dissect the word. It's Nintendo Indies showcase. So any kind of indie. Yeah. So it's these aren't all the games that kind of got announced through this, and there were some games that got announced for Switch that were not part of this showcase for some reason. Like, for example, I don't know why it wasn't in the in the actual like stream itself, but Hyper Light Drifter is coming to Switch.
Okay.
So, but for some reason they were like, "No, we're not gonna put that in the." And I don't know, maybe they had more of a focus on like new games, but this one is more of a.
There's some new games on this list, but Mark of the Ninja remaster.
I am so
a
excited
notable
for
one.
that because Mark of the Ninja is so damn good, and more people need to play
It's a phenomenal game by itself. A few of these caught my interest. Fantasy Strike seems like a really interesting game. It's a fighting game with like dumbed down combos. It's supposed to get people who aren't normally into fighting games, but there are still difficult characters, and it's still very competitive. IGN posted a video, like they interviewed people that play Street Fighter, who play Tekken. I'm not familiar with other ones, but they brought in like other people who play, and apparently it has like characters from Street Fighter in it, like not like all like not like any of the big ones, but it has a few.
Okay.
Like their actual like just straight up Street Fighter characters,
Yeah.
or not just.
Oh, it's like one or two.
Okay, like
I don't know the whole roster for it. But the game seems interesting enough. It's cool to see another fighting game IP other than
The ones we already know.
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, that seems to be like kind of like the new like style to go with fighting games because I feel like there are a lot of people who want to get into fighting games but are not like intense enough that they want to learn how to play a fighting game.
Yeah,
so
that's kind of where I am in this boat. Like, I like playing Mortal Kombat and Injustice, but there are so many combos you gotta learn to really like master characters. But Storm 4 is a little bit easier in that because most of it is like YB, and mashing B a bunch of times in a different direction. Like, it's not necessarily dumbed down; it just works different mechanically. And I think, like, I saw like a brief like combo sheet. And it's like mostly like one or two buttons for like a power attack,
right,
and then like a directional, and then like a button, which it seems interesting. I'd like to play a new fighting game, and it is gamepad cooperative.
Cool.
So if you have a gamepad like fighting games, it's still gonna work for you.
Cool. Give that a shot. Right on. We got Just Shapes and Beats. It's a co-op music-based bullet hell game that supports up to 4 players. and features a full story mode on Switch, and it launches this summer. A game called Garage, which is a new top-down shooter from Tiny Build Games, and it sees players battling against the living dead in a dark underworld setting inspired by B movies. That is going to be coming out here in the spring. It looks like it's going to be first on Switch, but it will eventually probably come to other places. It sounds like a Steam title, honestly.
Yeah.
Pool Panic. It's a new Adult Swim game that's described as the world's least realistic pool simulator.
That sounds like an Adult Swim's game.
Yeah. It's a console exclusive, as well as for PC via Steam. That's not a console
Later
exclusive.
this year. It's first going to be released on
The game,
console.
which supports local multiplayer for up to 4 people, features over 100 different levels where everything is a big game of wacky cartoon pool.
Bomb Chicken.
Bomb Chicken is a platforming puzzle action game that sees players laying bombs to solve puzzles and escape dangerous situations. It launches first on Switch this summer. Game will be released this year for PC via Steam. Luminous Remastered. That's an older title now.
Definitely.
It was on PSP.
It's being remastered, and it's going to be coming. It's got HD Rumble support for the Joy-Cons. It's going to be coming out for Switch, and then it'll also be coming out on PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Reigns, Kings and Queens. Collection of both Reigns and Reigns Her Majesty is coming to Nintendo Switch this spring. Medieval strategy game that will feature local co-op as a Switch exclusive feature.
Nice.
Okay. I'm happy to see a lot of local co-op games because that's something
That's
most consoles are missing right
I
now.
would say that's a strength that the Switch has, because basically when you buy it, it technically comes with 2 controllers with each Joy-Con.
Mm-hmm.
Joy-Cons aren't necessarily the most comfortable things in the world for extended period of play, but
They do work.
Yeah.
But if you're wanting to play Mario Kart or like another game with some friends,
Oh, absolutely.
just go right ahead. And you can bring your own.
And they make little sleeves to put the Joy-Cons in that make them feel more like actual controllers, and I love that.
Right.
True. You got Lightfall coming from Bishop's Games. It's a platforming adventure that will be released for Nintendo Switch this spring. This game, which sees players platforming by manipulating a magical box, will feature a speedrun mode, allowing you to race against your friends. Lightfall was announced a few years ago for PC, and it had early impressions back in PAX in 2015. It's a little bit of an older title there. West of Loathing. I feel like I've heard this name before.
The game has been around for a while.
It's a Wild West role-playing adventure featuring stick figures and slapstick comedy
Sounds like my kind of game.
and turn-based combat. Pode. Pode is a co-op exploration puzzle game inspired by Norwegian art and culture. It was unveiled for the Switch and will release for the platform this spring. In it, players will control 2 unlikely travel companions as they work to solve various puzzles on their adventure.
Sounds like a standard puzzle game, but those are always good. So
Yeah.
True. The Messenger. I feel like I've heard the name. I've heard this. I've heard of this title before too. The Messenger, a game that transforms from an 8-bit. Yeah, that's right. It's a game that transforms from an 8-bit platformer into a 16-bit time-traveling adventure. Title which puts players in the shoes of a ninja will be released for Nintendo console this summer. So basically the concept of this game is that you time travel back and forth to solve different platforming puzzles, and when you time travel back and forth it switches from 8-bit graphics to 16-bit graphics. So like switching back and forth between NES and Super NES.
Cool.
So that's pretty neat. Bad North. A real-time tactics roguelite where players must defend their home against a Viking invasion was unveiled for Nintendo Switch and will be released for the console this summer. It's going to be other consoles, PC, and mobile this year as well.
nice.
Banner Sagas 1, 2, and 3 are all coming to Switch as well, those are games that I've been wanting to play for a while. So the Banner Saga is a fantasy role-playing series. I'm trying to think of how to describe it. It's like a mixture of traditional fantasy tropes mixed with kind of more of a kind of Slavic kind of feel to it. More like Norse kind of like Norse mythology mixed with like traditional fantasy tropes.
Sure.
So, Hyper Light Drifter I already talked about. This one I'm really excited about. Fucking Nidhogg 2 is coming to Switch. If you don't know what Nidhogg 2, if you don't know what Nidhogg is, you don't need to play Nidhogg 1 to understand Nidhogg 2. Basically, the concept of the game is it's you are trying to get all the way to the left side of the screen or the right side of the screen, depending on what type of depending on which your starting position is, and you're trying to beat the other person that you're fighting against to get there. There's swords and daggers and bows and broadswords, and it's violent as fuck. It's super fucking funny, and it can lead to like long-lasting standstills where you are playing in the same match for like fucking 30 minutes, just going back and forth, killing each other.
Or it can last all of about 20 seconds as one of you just sprints.
Exactly. So Nidhogg 2, I can't wait for that. I will be picking that up.
Definitely one of the most chaotic games I have ever played.
Right. And then last, we have Crashlands, and I don't really know anything about this game. It looks similar to like a Nuclear Throne kind of roguelike kind of style of play. Do you guys know anything about Crashlands?
I do not.
I do not, actually.
I don't know. Well, if we find out what Crashlands is, we'll get back to you on it and let you know. I'll send you a personal message and be like, hey, so this is Crashlands. It does this, this, and this. It's kind of like this. Just so, if you want that personal message, comment on the thing.
We'll figure
If
it
you
out.
want that personal message, leave your credit card number.
Yes.
The 3-digit code on the back.
And go buy a
Your
t-shirt.
social security number.
The expiration date in the comments.
So yeah, that was kind of it for the Nindies showcase. So yeah, it seems like a bunch of really cool. I love that the Switch is becoming a cool platform for indie titles.
Definitely.
So we'll see. I'm sure we'll see more of that as time goes on.
The 3DS did a good job with it. There's a good number of indie titles on that, so I can only imagine Nintendo is just itching at the opportunity to put it on like their
Really,
on a
what's putting
console.
Nintendo back on the map, like console-wise.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So next up we have
I'm
a
excited
little
about
bit of
this
news about if you've ever played the game Oxenfree, which is I know is a favorite of Austin and I's. The studio who came up with Oxenfree has a new game coming out that they announced a while ago called After Party, and they finally put out the first trailer and kind of gave what the premise of this game is. If you haven't, go watch this trailer. It's pretty funny, and it kind of explains the concept of this game. It's in the same kind of style as Oxenfree, where it's a 2D walking simulator where you...
Well, it's kind of 2D. The art style is somewhat 3D.
2.5D.
Yeah, basically.
It plays like a 2D game while featuring 3D graphics, basically.
From what I've seen from the trailer, the art style is gorgeous.
Yeah.
They're in hell, but it's not what you think hell would be like. It's just like if Bourbon Street was just permanently
Hell.
So Bourbon Street.
So Bourbon
Yeah.
Street.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so Bourbon Street.
But yeah, it seems like basically the concept of what this game will be is it follows the main characters, Milo and Lola. Somehow Milo has gotten them into this situation where they died and have gone to hell. And now they're trying to get out of hell. And I guess their idea for doing this is that they are going to challenge a bunch of demons and Satan himself to a drinking contest. And it's going to be, seems what the purpose of the game is. And I'm on board.
I'm all about it. We already know more about this game than we know about Death Stranding.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see.
We still don't know anything about Death Stranding. But it looks really fun. If it follows along some of the same tropes as Oxenfree, I'm going to be really excited. Because with Oxenfree, there's so many different ways you can go about the game. There are so many different ways you can end the game. The things you say in Oxenfree have to do like with what happens in the rest of the game. Like characters can like not like you, they can hate you. I think someone can die even.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah.
so I'm interested to see what like
The
with them.
implications.
Yeah, and they're gonna. I think in the trailer it said they revamped like the talking system. To I'm not completely sure what they're gonna do with it. It's a less variety of a cast.
Yeah.
Because like in Oxenfree, it's like a group of 4 or 5 people.
Right. Yeah, and it seems like you're down to like basically the 2 of them.
Yeah, but then it seems like there's more connection between those characters than the others. I'm just excited to play it. Once it launches, I'm probably gonna.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna drop some money on it.
I am hoping to see. that seems like a game that would, like Oxenfree is on Switch. That seems like another good Switch title. I think that'll be good on all platforms. I think. So yeah, be on the lookout for After Party. That game looks awesome. Go watch that trailer. It's another minute and a half. Ugh, that doesn't sound good on my part. Next up, following up on a news story. I think this was this last week or the week before that we talked about Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 remastered.
I think it was last week.
We've talked about it before.
Yeah, basically it's still rumored. There's still been no confirmation about if this thing is happening, but if it does happen, it seems like right now with the way that they're talking about it is that it's going to just be single player. There's going to be no multiplayer component to it.
I'm calling BS, honestly.
Well, I mean, like that makes sense considering the information that we have already from the listing that we saw from Amazon Italy, especially with it coming out so soon with the proposed April 30th date that they had on Amazon Italy, and with basically the amount roughly translating out to or converting out to $25 US. That makes a lot of sense if it is just single player only. I don't think it's the smartest move on their part. I like that campaign a lot. Like it's
one of the better campaigns out of the Call of Duty series, but
definitely
people want the multiplayer.
If they make it single player only, they can do that well. There just needs to be other game modes besides campaign.
Well, it had the Spec Ops.
Yes,
so
that was the first one. Was the Spec Ops mode, right?
True. I was about like they need to make
but
sure.
But if it's
they
single
bring
player,
those.
then Spec Ops might be a little lackluster because you can play that 2-player. Maybe I'm thinking, knowing Activision, probably upon the next Call of Duty release, either before that they're gonna release the multiplayer to it after this game has been out a while, or it'll come out alongside the new Call of Duty, whatever Call of Duty that may be.
Yeah, it's just it's
because they're missing
weird.
out on a good opportunity if they're just gonna do single player. Because Modern Warfare 2 had the largest player base out of almost all of the Call of Duties, or at least in my recollection, it had one of the most alive communities.
I know that the original Modern Warfare was really the one that kicked off the actual start of big Call of Duty online, the original Modern Warfare. Mm-hmm. Then after that was World at War. That one not as much, but then Modern Warfare 2 came out, and I think that's when it really started to boom. Absolutely. That's when that started to kick off. I mean, I know Modern Warfare 2 was my first Call of Duty game. So.
Yeah, that was the first one I got.
Yeah.
Well.
So, I don't know. I will be very interested to see what comes in the next couple months as far as announcements. We already know that Black Ops 4 is coming out this year.
Black Ops I.
Yes.
Which is an actual way to do 4 in Roman numerals.
Yeah, it's just
very
dumb.
It's
It's
the
least common way.
It's just dumb.
I remember as a kid I saw a clock that had Roman numerals and it had that 4 on it. I was like,
I don't like this.
But I don't know. It's a weird time for them to be doing that. I think it was because it's not a Infinity Ward year. That's I guess what makes it so weird to do. Because when Modern Warfare Remastered came out, it was an Infinity Ward year for Call of Duty. And that's the same year they put out Infinite Warfare. Then they put out World War II last year. And now for them to be putting out Black Ops 4, it almost would have made more sense in my mind if they had done a remaster of the original Black Ops to go out with.
Or World at War.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Kind of banking off of Call of Duty World War II.
Yeah.
Which is a dumb title. Because there's so many of the games that take place in World War II.
Right, exactly.
But World at War remaster would be pretty awesome. The game is really gory. If it was remastered, it could rival Doom in a way. Because I remember
violent video games.
Man, the original Black Ops, I think, is still my favorite Call of Duty of all time. Actually, recently, it's backwards compatible, so I just actually recently reinstalled it on my Xbox.
Yeah.
So I'm about to play
so
through that
much
story
fun.
mode. Yeah.
I'm just biased towards zombie mode in Black Ops 1. It's really fun.
Mm-hmm.
World at War Zombies kicked it all off, though.
Yeah, no,
I
you're right.
remember discovering that, being like, what's zombies? What does this mean?
And then you get sucked in because everybody loves a good wave shooter.
Yeah.
It's weird. Like every Call of Duty game has a zombies mode in it now, and it's like, why? It was nice when it was like just a Treyarch thing. Like it was just like, okay, World at War had the first like map, and it was that Easter eggs like Nazi zombies mode, and then Black Ops 1 was like, okay, cool, this is a full-fledged mode now.
There was a full-fledged mode in World at War. There were 4 maps.
Was there? Oh yeah, I forgot.
They all came out with DLC. There was the original map that like started it all, and then the second or third DLC for Black Ops brought in all the old.
That's
maps.
right. That's right. I totally forgot about that. Actually,
was it Black Ops 3 where it's like, I felt like that rendition of zombies was. It was almost like too involved because you had to run around in this battlefield and like you're doing this and then there's like a giant robot that's walking around and
yeah,
that was Black Ops 2.
Black Ops 2. Okay.
Yes,
Black Ops 3 has something similar.
Yeah, like Black Ops, that was like the last zombies map from Black Ops 2.
Okay, because it's just so I played it like a handful of times and it's just
there's so much to do. Like
yeah.
it's not just a wave shooter.
I remember
it's almost towards like not fun anymore. It's just stressful because you're like, I gotta remember to do all this stuff. I gotta go back to the box.
And then when you finish it, it just starts all over and you do it again.
Yeah.
My friend, have you played a game called Darkest Dungeon? You would have a fun time. Something I learned, because you can only move forward or backwards in Darkest Dungeon. Moving backwards gives your characters hella stress.
Yeah.
And so if you pass something up, fuck it, it's gone.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember playing. I used to play the shit out of some zombies mode, but I just don't like what it's become. I remember when Black Ops 2 came out, and they had zombies mode on that. That first map that they had on zombies for Black Ops 2 was garbage. It was
Which one was that?
That was the Dead Transit one, where it was like the
yeah.
the bunch of smaller maps, but you would go from each one by riding a bus from one to the other. You're like, okay, we're leaving. Get on the bus.
Oh yeah, that was.
Yeah, I fell off of zombies around that time because I played it a lot in Black Ops 1.
Because Black Ops 1 had like perfected zombies.
That was the movie theater.
That was the one that you
yeah.
started off with.
Okay.
Then what else was on Black Ops 1? That had the Night of the Dead, like George
George
Romero one where it was like the set of a horror movie basically, and it was a bunch of like famous actors. Like you could play as Machete in there.
Buffy the Vampire
Yeah,
Slayer.
Buffy the Vampire.
Wasn't there one? It was like you were like JFK and Richard
Yeah, you
Nixon.
played the Pentagon. It was like JFK, Nixon, Castro, and
Good.
I think it was like
McNamara.
Yeah.
That's a hard map.
The Pentagon? Oh, yeah.
Especially
That was
when
a
you get
fun
down,
one.
When you get down to the control room or whatever.
Oh, God, it's
fuck
so
that.
stressful down there.
Obviously, the Romero one's probably the best, in my opinion. That's like the zombies map.
And then there's
Whenever I think
also
of it.
the...
movie theater is pretty good.
Yeah.
Movie theater's fun.
There's the fucking Rocket Silo one also, where it's like space themed. Like, not the one that's actually in space, but the one that's
The
where
one
you're on...
in space is pretty awesome too.
Yeah, true.
It's Moon.
Is that Black Ops 1 or Black Ops 2?
It's Black Ops 1. I think that was like the final DLC.
Yeah, Black Ops 1. We're going to the moon. And yeah.
Moon zombies.
Because I didn't play that heavily into Black Ops 2. I played a lot of Black Ops 1 though.
So how do guns work on the moon?
You're in a space station.
The bullet
okay.
just keeps going, I guess, forever.
There's a section where you go outside, but like
If I pack a punch my gun, it doesn't matter.
Low level of oxygen out there, so like the bullets can still fire. It's just when you're outside, there's like no sound.
Oh, gross.
Yeah,
Can we
but like you feel the vibration on the
Which
bullet.
also,
It's
like, you have to think, like, if you're just, like, floating in space and you fire a gun, you're gonna go back with the same amount of force that the bullet is firing out of your gun.
Can we play zombies for a let's play on the channel?
I'd be
Let's do
down.
it.
All right.
We gotta fucking do it. I swear to God.
Let's do it.
Let's have a LAN party, guys.
Oh my
I am down.
Oh my god.
LAN parties need to be a thing again.
God, I remember we used to have a lot of them my sophomore year here playing Borderlands too. That was so much fun.
Dude, I want to play a 4v4 Halo 2 or Halo 3
yes.
LAN party.
I'm trash at Halo.
That's okay.
I am too, but I'm okay.
Especially, like, I would always play with my friend, and he would just, like, go get the gravity hammer, and I'm like, well...
Guess I'll die.
Yeah, guess I'll die.
LAN party Borderlands 2. Let's do it.
God.
You
I'm
can
telling
only
you,
get
man,
4
that's
people.
got to be the new series that we gotta do. We gotta do some multiplayer shit,
Yeah.
like just like fucking around.
We're still gonna
Red
get that
versus
Overwatch
blue, dude.
going.
So yeah, that's pretty much it for Call of Duty. It's starting to go off on that tangent.
Call of Duty is Call of Duty.
Yeah.
In other news.
Hopefully it's not single player.
Yeah.
Elder Scrolls Online announced their new expansion the other day. They're going to the Somerset Isles. This is like their first new expansion since Morrowind was like their last big expansion.
They went into like Morrowind and Valenwood which is like a sub.
That's right. I forgot about Valenwood. Yeah.
This is really cool though. It's another elf country, kind of like more like Morrowind, but it's where the high elves are from.
Hell yeah.
The trailer kind of threw me off because like in like the wiki description of the Somerset Isles and in like the kind of visuals you get from Arena, the very first Elder Scrolls game, it's like green, luscious, it's like farmland, but the first thing you see in the trailer is like a bunch of pink trees.
Mm-hmm.
That really threw me off.
Gotta get that high contrast going.
But I'm excited for what they're gonna do. I'm not an avid player of the Elder Scrolls Online.
I was about to ask, does anybody here like play ESO or
I
have
played most of
think we all
my
have.
ESO experiences come from watching people play it though.
I'm an
yeah.
Elder Scrolls fanatic, but
Yeah, I love
just,
the Elder Scrolls itself as a series. I just haven't played a lot of ESO.
I think I made a realization the other day that I think as far as fantasy settings goes, Elder Scrolls is actually one of my least favorites, surprisingly. But when I say that, I don't mean that it's my least favorite. I still like it a lot. It's just like of the other fantasy, like I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that dwarves are my favorite type of fantasy race. And dwarves have been long extinct in the realm of Skyrim, and all you have left.
There's one dwarf in Morrowind.
Yep.
The game.
Yep.
He's old as fuck.
Morrowind is where the most of my Elder Scrolls experience is.
Mine is mostly in Skyrim. I played a shit ton of time in Skyrim over the years.
Well, whenever I picked up Oblivion, I wasn't aware that it was part of a series because I was a Nintendo gamer growing up. So I was like, "Hey, what's this Oblivion game for PC?" Fun as shit. Fell in love with it. Got all the
Oblivion is a
expansion.
phenomenal game. Have you heard about the Sky Oblivion mod?
Yes.
That's going on. They're putting a bunch of independent developers are creating and organizing a free mod to put the game of Oblivion in the Skyrim engine.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. It looks really good so far. I don't know what if any action's been taken on it. I think it's all good right now though.
There's update videos every once in a while. I think one was posted maybe like 1 or 2 months ago, but like I'm pretty sure the entire map is done.
Yeah, there's not a lot of gameplay so far video wise on it. It's just like concept art and everything, which is still wonderful.
No, like the actual like
Or not
Cyrodiil
concept,
is
yeah.
complete.
Yeah.
Just they haven't completed all the NPCs, they haven't completed all the armor, they haven't done the story, which dialogue works differently in Skyrim than it does in Oblivion because it has that whole system of where people can like you or not. It has that mini game, which I to this day do not understand.
I don't understand it either. It's
like people like if you go talk to someone just may hate you and they have this really odd smile or like frown on their face, like, and then there's like this game you can say different things to get them to like you, but if you try too much, they'll pick up on it, and then they'll dislike you even more.
Can that face be the new YDN logo?
But yeah.
No, after
Oblivion is a good game. But back to ESO, bringing it back to...
Yeah, I played it for a little bit, and I realized that I like the concept of it, and I think I've just determined that MMOs might not be my thing. Which is fine, and that's all good. I understand there are other people's things. I really enjoy lore behind MMOs because I find it really fascinating and expansive, like especially like Warcraft lore. Like I'm all about that shit. Like, let me listen to you talk about that for hours on end. I'm good. Like, I will listen to that. But the actual playing of MMOs, I'm just like, I understand why people like it, but I personally find it kind of boring. That's not like no disrespect to them or anything. It's not the type of style of gameplay that I'm looking for.
Yeah, I'd agree with you on that. Like, I'm a general Elder Scrolls fan. I like Morrowind. I like Oblivion. I like Skyrim. Couldn't really get into Elder Scrolls Online. It's an MMO taking place in Tamriel. It's not really an Elder Scrolls game.
Mm-hmm. It's an MMO.
I was really excited when the game was first announced.
Me too, because I was expecting it to be a lot more like
I was thinking of Skyrim with friends.
Yeah, exactly.
Which I would love a Skyrim party game, or just an Elder Scrolls game where you could queue up with 4 people, have your party,
just like a local co-op.
Yeah, not necessarily like an MMO.
Yeah. One of the things you're talking about, how you like lore of MMOs and all that. So I mentioned at the beginning that I've been jumping back into Skyrim, and I've been jumping into the special edition on PC because I picked that up the day it came out.
Yeah.
And I was just browsing through the mods on it because I wanted to see what all, I could pick that was fun but not like game breaking. And there's one, it changes the text on the loading screens to be lore based instead of just like random shit.
Hell yeah.
It's just like different excerpts from books you can read throughout the
There's so much lore in the Elder Scrolls, and in Skyrim alone. Like, if you just go up and pick up a book, like, you're gonna learn something about the lore, and then there's multiple volumes of that book.
And it tells you, like, the loading screen mod tells you, like, what book it's from, so whenever you find it, you're like, oh, hey, this is this.
I think that's one of the major things when, like, making a fantasy-based game. Like, you have to have lore. You have to have good lore that people are interested in and engaged with. Otherwise,
not even games, like especially games, but also like just like fantasy books and movies in general. You have to have some sort of lore there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, games especially.
Elder Scrolls really has an expansive lore. Like, it's built up upon 5 games now.
Yeah.
5 full games. They had some other ones. Not Daggerfall. There's
Arena, Daggerfall.
Well, they have Elder Scrolls Stories, Redguard.
Yeah.
Which takes place in Hammerfell. It's like the only game that exclusively takes place in Hammerfell, but it's not part of the Elder Scrolls series. And for a while, I thought they were gonna tie into Skyrim, because it was rumored that Skyrim was going to have Hammerfell DLC, but they stopped production of DLC before that even happened. And there's evidence of it in the game, because there's the quest with the Redguard woman, and you meet a big clan from Hammerfell. There is a path over by Falkreath. It's in the south east corner of the map. There is a trail that leads directly into Hammerfell, but it's blocked by an invisible wall. And in the lore, there's this city. I think it's called Dragonstar. I could be wrong about that. But that city is at war with Skyrim.
Okay.
During the time of the Dragonborn and whatnot. So, lore-wise, it made sense. And in the game Redguard, your character ends up killing a dragon, but he is not the Dragonborn. So that dragon's soul is still alive because it hasn't been absorbed. So there could have been a dragon for the Dragonborn to go slay as well.
Interesting.
Maybe there will be
a
mod.
What the fuck are you doing, Bethesda?
Maybe there will be a mod.
Come on, this is the content we want.
Maybe there will be a mod.
Maybe. But
Skyrim has been ported so many times.
Put Skyrim on fridge.
Put Skyrim on fridge.
Skyrim Mobile better not
Skyrim
become a thing.
Mobile. Oh god. But yeah, so check out, if you're into MMOs and you're into ESO specifically, go check out the trailer for the new Somerset expansion. I believe that's coming out here in the next few months or so. Soonish TM.
Yep.
And so our last news story, this is one that I pulled because I think it's specifically interesting to me because I love this company. CD Projekt Red has announced that Cyberpunk 2077 will most likely be at E3 this year, but won't feature any, and probably won't launch the game with the multiplayer component that they're going to be adding to it.
I'm fine with that as long as they're adding to it later.
The famous, we'll get you guys multiplayer.
But there's nothing really to that story. They were having they had like an investors meeting, and they were asking somebody asked a question about if it was going to be be shown at E3, and they're like, we're more than likely we're gonna bring it.
It's our plan.
Yeah, which is crazy because literally all we have seen for Cyberpunk 2077 is a logo. And that's it.
Yeah.
And a name. That's all we got.
We know just as much about it as we do Death Stranding.
Yeah. Also, CD Projekt Red also recently announced that they opened up a new studio in another city in Poland that I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce because I know that I will get it wrong. And they're going to help with development on Cyberpunk 2077. So that's going to be coming soon. I'm really excited for that because, as you all know, I'm a huge fan of the Witcher series. So for them to kind of expand into this first game that's not really in the Witcher series in the first time in a long time, and it's supposed to be more ambitious than the Witcher 3, I'm all on board. I'm all about it. So, yeah, I think that's going to do it for news for this week. Which leads us right into our weekly rotating segment. If you have a question you want to propose for the mysterious weekly rotating segment of the podcast, you can go on over to ydnerd.com/contact. ydnerd.com/contact.
/ not /
Yes. So go on over there. You just leave your name, your email, and what your question is, and we will shout you out on the show. And it's a good way for you to talk to us and ask us questions that we can talk about here on the podcast.
Absolutely.
So the question for this week is, recently, PUBG and Fortnite have both come to mobile devices around the world, and people seem to really be enjoying them. What other game would you like to see come to mobile, and why? I hate the shit-eating grin that you have on your face right now, Dylan. What are you thinking?
Mario Kart.
They said they have a Mario Kart game coming, apparently.
I haven't heard anything about that.
Yeah, they basically announced it, but nobody knows what it is. It's like Mario Kart Mobile, basically.
I think that'd be super fun, even if it took advantage of the
Okay, if Mario Kart Mobile has gyroscope controls, I'm not gonna play it.
They'll probably have like a setting where you can turn it off and then.
Yeah.
Definitely.
If it's gyroscope
controls.
only, I'm not.
I do this for the aesthetic and be like, okay, and then go to regular touch controls.
I feel like I'd hate that so much though, like the actual virtual button of pushing to drift or whatever
it's
hop.
It's really not that bad. Like
You
playing
gotta,
a Nintendo 64 emulator on your phone.
It's
playing
not
Mario
awful.
Kart that way isn't terrible.
Other than the fact that there's just this giant ass joystick on your screen.
I'm trying to think what I would like.
H1Z1 mobile, so the scrubs can see what an actual battle royale game is.
That actually became free to
Oh my
play
God.
on Steam.
Everyone needs to play H1Z1 before they play PUBG or Fortnite.
They actually, I think H1Z1 actually has a mode that's completely unique to it in comparison to Fortnite and PUBG, where it's it's
all vehicles.
It's a battle royale except all in vehicles. It's all car based, like
So-
battle royale.
So Mad Max the game.
Basically,
Cool.
Or it's
Beyond Thunderdome.
basically, it seems like the concept of it is more like any of your teammates can die in the vehicle, and that's fine. They'll respawn after a certain amount of time. It's you have to make sure the vehicle stays intact. If the vehicle explodes or blows up, that's it. That's when you're out. So that sounds like a lot of fun, and I might have to give that a shot.
I would also love, this has kind of just been like a thing of mine for a while, it wouldn't really be that hard for Nintendo to put just not Pokemon Go, but regular Pokemon games on
Definitely.
mobile, as well as Fire Emblem games.
Yeah,
I
I
would
would
love that. They would be I've already thought of wonderful ways to control them on mobile.
Turn-based strategy games like that, I think, would be
Yeah.
fairly simple to.
Square Enix needs to give us not shitty mobile ports.
True.
I'd like to see Oxenfree.
I think
That'd
Oxen.
be cool.
For some reason, I think it
And
might
simple.
actually be already on mobile.
I'm gonna double check that, but I think with the way the game's already laid out, and especially with After Party coming out, a lot of the visuals could transfer over pretty
Oh, yeah,
well, and
definitely.
they're not action based games.
Undertale could also transfer really well to mobile.
Yeah.
I've been
Oh,
thinking about
Oxenfree
that.
is on mobile.
Yeah. Was
Okay.
it $5?
Yeah, it's $5. Okay, well,
Shit.
Wish granted.
hell,
Boom.
it's only $5.
Ask and you receive. That's the motto here at the YDN cast.
Mm.
The YDN cast.
I'm
Granting-
genuinely impressed.
See, what else you want? You want money? We don't got none of that.
But we do got Oxenfree
Free on
mobile.
mobile. You used your one wish. You
Yeah,
got
that's
Oxenfree on
it.
mobile.
Oh, I could have used that for so many different things.
Well, too bad. You got Oxenfree on mobile.
Um,
Hope it was worth it.
I think it'd be really cool. Like, as much as I'm still really hooked on this game, but I think Super Hot on mobile would be kind of neat.
Oh yeah, with touch-based controls for like picking up shit.
Yeah, like, it's like
using the gyroscope.
Or-
Like,
or-
I think like kind of
That'd be
leading
cool.
into like what
Swiping it with
VR
the
is
katana.
Kind of is Google Cardboard
Yeah.
thing.
Google
like, have-
Cardboard.
Have it like that,
yes.
and you can
Yeah.
play the game.
I had another one, but
Dylan kind of stole mine. I was actually going to say Mario Kart, but so I had to improvise a little bit there.
Castle Crashers would be fun.
Castle Crashers I think would do really well. Man.
I would personally like to see like actual emulators that are supported by the companies put onto mobile.
No, absolutely.
That'd be really cool.
Because like if there was like a marketplace where I could like redeem games that I have in some
Yeah.
way, like I would totally buy into that. I would be playing like either like Shadow of the Colossus or something on mobile, like the
Yeah.
original version of that, or like the original Battlefront 2, Starfighter, or yeah. I think that would be really great.
Star
to
Wars
see.
Battlefront would be a cool franchise to see come to mobile.
Like the original?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
That'd be a good place for them to start because
Mhm.
it probably could run on mobile.
Was,
If PUBG
absolutely.
can run on,
If Star Wars Battlefront 2 can run on a PSP, it can run on
Maybe it
our
is.
phone.
Maybe it is. Check your app store.
Yeah,
I
well,
don't-
let's just go. Let's just go look at the app store.
Maybe,
See if my wish came true.
Maybe I just granted your wish.
It's probably not on there. I had an idea. Okay, this one might be shitty, depending.
There's a companion app by EA.
gross.
You know, I used all my magic, granting that wish for Oxenfree on mobile. I only had a little bit of juice left, so I got to that
Sorry.
companion app.
I'm sure
Thanks.
After Party's gonna come to mobile.
I wouldn't be surprised. This one might be shitty because I don't know how it would translate zero. I think Cuphead on mobile might be really interesting.
I feel like it would be really rage-inducing.
Oh, yeah.
Because of the size of the controls.
It already is rage-inducing.
That's what I'm
So
saying.
now it'd be really funny to watch instead of people like breaking controllers in half, they break
Just
their
snap your
phone in half.
Yeah. I would love to
News
see
at
what-
11. People are getting really pissed off playing Cuphead on their phone
You
and
bring
breaking
it into the AT&T store, like just in two halves.
It-
Cuphead. Yeah, me too,
Cuphead.
man.
Well, it's like how the creator of Flappy Bird started getting death threats in his mail.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about like at the beginning of this podcast, I was thinking about like how people started selling phones that still had Flappy Bird on them for like $1,000.
People sell PS4s that still have PT on it.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Oh, dude, I miss PT.
Okay, but yeah, that game though.
I want to know who discovered how to actually beat
PT.
because it's like the way you have to do it is so.
Trial and error, dude. I
gotta
played
take-
it when it like first came out, and a lot of it was just me and a group of friends saying, "Try that." Nope, that doesn't fucking work. Okay, we're missing something. We had like a board where we were like drawing
Looking
on
like
try-
fucking Charlie Day with
Yeah.
the giant conspiracy theory board.
That game is so anxiety inducing.
I when that game when the PT came out, me and my now ex-girlfriend were watching that we're watching somebody play through it and had that moment where they turn around and the creature got him, and it scared the shit out of us. We yelled so like her cat ran out of the room. Like it was just like holy heart thumping like God.
We'll do that.
I live for that.
It's a good game.
I don't like scary shit.
The good one of the best jump scares I've had in a while. It's the part in Resident Evil 7 where you think you get away from the dad, and he like breaks through the wall, and he's like, "Where are you going, boy?"
Yeah.
That happened. Like I had to like. I had to take a break.
That game is so good that I try. So I started playing that game. It's very good, very scary. Also, the fact that we're in Louisiana doesn't help because that game is also set in Louisiana.
Oh, good.
Fuck yeah! I love horror games set in places that I would know.
It's like set in the swamps of Louisiana. So
it's like DeQuincy or some like made up town.
Yeah, it's a made up town.
DeQuincy totally is a town in Louisiana.
Wait, it is.
But it's not that name.
Yeah,
because it's a made up.
Sorry to any fans from DeQuincy. I thought your town was made up.
But it's
holy shit. Yeah. Okay. Never mind.
Yeah.
It's gonna be something else then.
Yeah, it is something else. Well, we'll get done here and we'll start a new playthrough of Resident Evil 7 because I got it not long after it came out. I played it because I was like, kept on hearing like, man, it's really good, like the best Resident Evil game in a while. I'm like, all right, cool. I want to play this. I'm gonna overcome my fear of scary games, and so I started playing it. I got through like a little bit more than the prologue, like the prologue section, and God, that game is terrifying. Oh my god!
If you haven't played Until Dawn, that's a fun ass.
Until Dawn is some of the best storytelling in a horror game that I've ever seen.
I've seen some Let's Plays of a little bit of Until Dawn. Like
it's really fun.
Like it looks a little more thrillery than actual horror, and I think I'd actually be able to.
Yeah, that's a fair explanation.
It's almost like it almost feels like it could be a movie.
Yeah, it definitely.
And
could
that
be.
you're just selecting dialogue and controlling characters, like
It's kind of how like The Walking Dead is.
Yeah, it's a very good Telltale game, but not Telltale game.
Would Until Dawn, you think that would be a good mobile game?
Totally could be.
It could work. I mean,
like I guess mobile in this case could either be phone or tablet based, maybe.
True.
Like,
so then that would apply to the Switch.
Taking Switch out of it.
Just,
I'm thinking more like phone or like iPad or
iOS, Android devices.
Yeah, exactly.
My only thing is when I think of
no
mobile
love for
games.
Windows phones.
Nope.
When I think of mobile games, like I steer away from like more story based games, I guess. So like that's why I said Mario Kart, because it's like you can do you can do a match in Mario Kart in 7 minutes. You have 3 to 7 minutes, but it's like with Until Dawn, it's very much
you're gonna
story
play that
driven.
game until you're done, basically.
Yeah, like you need to have like an hour or two to sit down to sit through like crucial chunks of the game, and I just feel like that's just not putting that sort of game on mobile just isn't conducive to good storytelling.
It just doesn't do it justice.
Yeah, like if you break it up into like, I got 10 minutes before this meeting, let me just play a little Until Dawn, it's like you're not going to get the same experience out of the game.
Right. It's interesting. They have like almost all the Telltale games on mobile device as well. Like, so you could like play it, but they're all like cheaper. I was thinking about this the other day, and this is still related to our topic of mobile games, but have you ever noticed that like we are more willing to pay $5 for a game on Steam than we are to pay $5 for a game on a mobile device?
Definitely.
Yeah.
I guess it's all kind of like been dependent on mostly like how we grew up. You think of like if you want to buy a game, it's 99 cents on the App Store, and you don't think about like that probably a good amount of development time went into this, and so $5 is like probably a fair pricing for what we're looking at. But pricing when it comes to mobile games versus like regular games is definitely interesting. But
For sure.
let us know what you think in the comment section below about what game do you think should come to mobile. Like what ports do you think would be real cool to see? But I think that's going to do it for the rotating segment, which means I think that's going to do it for us for the podcasting. Again, don't forget to go pick up your Daily Nerd merch over at bonfire.com/ydnerd. Go subscribe to us on Google Play, iTunes, Stitcher, and listen to the audio-only version of us. Take us on the go with you. We're happy to keep you company on your long drive or while you're working out at the gym. Just listen to it however you can, you know?
When you're playing video games.
What was that? We'll come wherever you want us to.
Yes,
Phrasing.
exactly. Don't forget to visit the website over at ydnerd.com. Follow us all on all of our social media at ydnerd. Like, comment, subscribe, share, and every other buzzword there is for YouTubing.
All of them.
YouTube.
Yeah, you know, YouTubing. It's like you take something and you take the YouTube logo and you go down the river. YouTube. YouTube. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for this week's episode of the YDN cast. Thank you again for watching / listening, and we'll see you next week.
Real quick. I know we've been trying to get our videos out on Mondays for the audience. How long will that take to come out on our audio-only sites?
We've been putting them out on Sundays for the video version. The goal is same day on Sundays, but if not, they'll most likely be up on Mondays.
Okay.
So look out for Sunday for a video version of the podcast, and hopefully same day, maybe Monday for audio-only versions.
Just wanted to get that out there.
Exactly. So, great. I appreciate you reminding me. So, that's going to do it for this week's episode of the YDN cast. We'll see you next week. See you later, everyone.
Guys. It's been fun.
It has.